Racing 200. Bennett can't get to the inside. Dan Cruz is there as they come through the tri-oval. Jeffrey Armistead is going to win the iRacing.Funny 250. NAOR is going to block, coming down to it at the line. It's going to be, I think, Dylan Parker's going to go back-to-back. He will win here at Darlington. And Luke Knupp is going to be a winner in the Slide Jawb Racing League for the first time. He scores first time in his career. Blaze McKinney is a winner in the Slide Jawb Racing League. He takes the victory here at Kansas.
Across the line, Dalton Kilroy is your winner.
Jonathan Parker scores the victory, and then more importantly, he scores the Season 10 championship here in the Slide Jawb Racing League.
The anticipation has built up to this point tonight. It is time to go racing for Season 12 of the Slide Jawb Racing League as we roll into Daytona for the iRacing.Funny 250. It is time to get underway. It's been an exciting set of speed weeks, an exciting clash. The duels last week, but tonight we settle it all at Daytona, the virtual World Center of Racing. Dawson Allen on the call once more here. Another lovely season here on JCTV with the Slide Jawb Racing League. And joining me in the booth, as always, it is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Josh Coppernoll. Josh, we're looking forward to another great season here with the Slide Jawb Racing League. What are you looking forward to tonight for this super speedway race here, the iRacing.Funny 250?
You know, Dawson, I'm looking forward to just these guys getting the season started. It has been a long off season. We have had a few weeks of the speed weeks. First of all, glad to see that the Daytona track crew has gotten this race prepped for the oval from the road course that was just ran a few days ago. But you know, overall, I think these guys, they are hungry to win, start the season off on the right foot, and do everything in their power to take home a victory.
Absolutely. And we see right here, looking at pit lane, right there, the number 2 car, Caden Atkins. He is going to be your pole sitter for tonight's race. Of course, the qualifying that we had a few weeks ago, Luke Knupp was the fastest lap time, but with the crash that happened at the end of duel number 1 last week, unable to cross the start-finish line, unable to maintain his starting position, so he'll have to go all the way back to, I believe, the back of the field. So he's going to have to fight his way through the field. Jonathan Parker will be staying on the outside row, and of course we can't talk about last season's success, you know, without talking about those two drivers, Luke Knupp and Jonathan Parker. Jonathan Parker was your champion last season, back-to-back championships here in the Slide Jawb Racing League, but Luke Knupp stepped up, leveled up, and, you know, he was absolutely unstoppable. I think 2 finishes in total outside of the top 10 in the field. Everything else, you know, was just really good up until the end, but just wasn't able to get that championship that he's looking for. He'll start again this season. But what are your thoughts, the expectations here for Luke Knupp here in Season 12?
You know, I think it's pretty much the same as last season. You know, I mean, I think we can both agree. In Season 10, once Luke Knupp got that first win, the monkey off his back, he just has been hot since. Leading into Season 11, all the wins he had that season, the success, the top 3s, I mean, he had a streak of literally finishing top 2 for, I think, 5 or 6 races in a row. And then, you know, and again, as you mentioned, only 2 races where he finished outside the top 10. Honestly, for Luke Knupp, I think this year it's going to be pretty much the same. Running up front, trying his best to, you know, stay a championship contender and actually get that title that came so close to actually claiming last season. You know, competition, I mean, still not going to be easy, you know, by any means. There are some newer drivers in here, but, you know, for Luke Knupp, I think it's going to be the same as what we've been seeing since the end of Season 10. longer. He's just been on such a hot streak.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be fun to keep tabs on as you. Whoa, Luke Nupp! Oh my goodness, that was something spectacular, and that was definitely pretty great to catch. I don't know what he just did there. I don't think I've ever seen that be a glitch on iRacing. Josh, I don't know if you saw that, but he took a section that I usually take sometimes when I'm just kind of goofing around, going through that infield section right there, the Western Horseshoe for the road course layout. But coming on the back straightaway, it's like he hits a jump and just goes flying. I'm not too sure what he hits, but he gets airborne into the catch fence.
I actually did not see it live, but I did see the replay of it. That is pretty insane.
That's a new one. I haven't seen that one yet on iRacing, but definitely a new one. Jeffrey Armistead coming in here. Speaking of Jeffrey Armistead, of course, last season's winner of the iRacing.Funny 250, looking to go back-to-back as well in this number 02 Zin Nicotine Ford Mustang, looking to see if he can get back-to-back here to Victory Lane at Daytona.
You know, I think one thing we're gonna see is teammates working together today. More important than really any other race, because this is Daytona. You're gonna see the teams get together, and those SBLD guys, are in this case Circumference Ultimate Motorsports guys, they are not just teammates, but really good friends who trust each other. And we saw them work together so well last season. We've seen them work well together in other super speedway races that haven't been in Slide Job. I think Jeffrey Armistead, or really anybody on Circumference, can get it done tonight. But Jeffrey Armistead, he is hungry to go back to back.
Yeah, and I think he figures, hey, if John the Park can go back to back on championships, why not me go back to back in race wins? So it's definitely going to be one to watch as well. Another driver I think should be good to watch in tonight's race. How about the 56 of Oscar Enriquez? Of course, winner of the Season 5 AmsOil Truck Series opener at this very track.
Yeah, and it just goes back to, again, the Circumference guys working so well together. And, I think I mentioned it before. If there were two guys from SBLD or Circumference that I would say are the two that if they were to get together, they'd pretty much be an unstoppable force. I'd say it would be Oscar and Jeffrey. And we've seen them just do an incredible job working together. Oscar, he comes out nowhere at the end of these races as well. I think he's going to be up front when it matters the most.
Another driver I think to keep eye on tonight, going to be the 00 Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Currently sits second fastest in practice, but practice at these kind of tracks doesn't really mean anything, obviously. But you look at somebody like this 00, I feel like Jurgensmeyer, starting 11th tonight's race, is definitely going to be somebody to watch for as well. He has been very good at super speed racing from the races we have run on JCTV that we've seen him race in, and he's just had a little bit of bad luck sometimes in these races, but I think he is absolutely going to be somebody to keep an eye on to see if he can take home the checker flag tonight.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience watching Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, but I'm telling you what I know and what I've heard is this guy, I think he's going to claim a couple of wins this season, and it very well could be tonight. He is so fast anyway, and I think he's kind of a fan favorite with these drivers. So I think a lot of guys are willing to work with. Okay.
Everybody's taking that jump right there that we saw. I think the best spot, I think this is, hold on. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can see there's Oscar Enriquez flying in. I think this is going to be a good camera angle to keep for the rest of this practice. There's a minute 22 left to go just to watch them all filter in and fly out of this infield section because there's nothing better to do. A lot of these guys, the big thing is right now, there's nothing better to do. In terms of this practice session, there's a minute 10 to go. Yeah, you could get out there and try to work with somebody, but at the same time, that's what the duels were for. There's no worry about qualifying. That was 2 weeks ago, and then that qualifying session didn't even add in to what you were going to be doing, last week or tonight, so it's really just a case of just kind of come out here and screw around for about an hour and just get kind of focused, honed in, and ready to go if you can or if you need to. So that's what we're going to see here the last 45 seconds. But while we talk about that, Josh, first time of the season here officially, who is your pick to win the iRacing.Funny 250?
Yeah, there's so many drivers here that you could pick, and honestly, I don't know, but I'm gonna pick somebody, and I'm gonna go with Nathan Chiani. It's gonna be his first official points start tonight, but I know he's kind of a name that is a fan favorite with everybody as well. I think he's gonna be up front. So watch Nathan Chiani take that victory tonight.
And I'll give you this. That is a bold pick there because Chiani almost wasn't going to be racing tonight. He was on the outside before somebody withdrew that ended up giving him that spot. Same case for Brayton Laster, able to make it in because of that. But you're going with the 60 car. I'm going with somebody else. I'm going to go a little bit of a wild card here. Somebody a little out of left field. I think we're going to see 88 of Christian Pacheco find victory lane here tonight. He has been very good at these type of races. I feel like Christian Pacheco is due for a good win here, and I think we're going to get that feel-good story with Christian Pacheco finding victory lane here tonight. So let's take a look at your starting grid. 40 drivers in this field tonight ready to go racing. A lot of them are ready to rip and ride, so let's go ahead and go through who is starting where, so you can keep track of your favorite drivers where they start tonight's race. Starting on the pole, of course, is Caden Atkins, winner of duel number 1. To his outside, the guy who qualified second, Jonathan Parker. And rounding out row 2, it's going to be Oscar Enriquez and Blaine Sparling, the winner of duel 2. A very big win for Blaine, hoping to keep that momentum up this week. Row 3, we'll see Dan Cruz and Bridger Olson. Two teammates, two guys that are no strangers to success here at Daytona. Row 4 sees Michael Thorpe Jr. and Jamie Wright. And then running at your top 10, it's going to be Justin Burnham and Michael Walls.
Starting on the inside of row 6, going to be Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. Ethan Fonseca Moreno starts 12th. 13th goes to Zachary Wareham. JT Large will start in 14th. In 15th, Darren Roy. Robert Lukens in 16th. 17th, Jackson Austin and Dalton Kelly in 18th. Jared Wilson takes 19th, and Jaden Porter will start in 20th.
Starting back in the 21st position, there we go. It's going to be Rivers Jones, and in 22nd is Austin J. McGill. Back there in 23rd is Donald Stern and Matt Steiner, both, I believe, making their Slide Drop recently debuts tonight. Gabe Cazzola and Salvador Zavala starting in row 13. Row 14 will see, of course, last season's championship runner-up, I believe, but also, too, supposed to have been the pole sitter, Luke Knupp, out back with Adam Kuhn, JCTV Zone, and then right at the top 30, it's Michael Kruger and Andrew Davis.
Starting 31st, going to be your pick, Christian Pacheco, Jeffrey Armstead, who's outside 32nd. 33rd sees Dylan Parker, driver who's really good at these kind of races as well. Sean Kisney, 34th. 35th, Hunter Karsten. Brent Bennett, 36th. Starting 37th, it's going to be Ryan Bogey, just barely sneaking in, and Jake Scarborough in 38th. Starting 39th, Braden Laster and Nathan Chiani. My pick will start 40th.
Looking at your race analysis, we are at Daytona International Speedway. Where else will we be to kick off the season 12 for the Slide Job Racing League? It's going to be 100 laps of racing for these drivers. Partly cloudy skies. We mentioned Jeffrey Armistead is your defending race winner, and Luke Knupp going to the rear because of that accident at the end of duel number 1. It is 100 laps of racing to settle it here tonight. A lot of these guys.
Real quick, if I may, 09 of Andrew Davis is in pit road, so he did miss the grid, but he's in green as soon as he can.
So we'll have one driver starting from pit lane, but we mentioned a lot of these guys are still hungry for their first career win. Some of them have found success at this very racetrack before. We'll see who gets it done at the end of lap 100. The pace car is off. Caden Atkins and Jonathan Parker are going to lead the field to green. Season 12 of the Slide Job Racing League is officially underway. The iRacing.Funny 250 is live here on JCTV. Lap number 1, going to give it to Cade Nackings with Oscar Enriquez on his back bumper. Dane Cruz in 3rd, Michael Thorpe Jr. in 4th, the outside line, led by Jonathan Parker side by side for what is 5th place with Justin Burnham.
Jonathan Parker trying to get the high line going. A little bit separated at the moment, but I think it won't be long. Sparling is going to be on the back of Parker.
We're starting to see some guys dropping back. It looks like Matt Steiner dropping back. Jared Wilson trying to back out a little bit. We saw somebody on lap 1 spin out of the back straightaway. That was the 6th of Zachary Wareham. Spun out, lost the pack early on here. Going to have to fight throughout a long race tonight to see if he can't get back in it and see if he can still go. But you see here, Jonathan Parker on the outside, still just about side by side with Burnham, which is 5th place. 4 cars out front on the inside line so far in the early stages of this race.
Of course, Sparling did not get up to Parker like I initially thought he was going to. Parker kind of fell back to Sparling. But now the top line has started to get together, and Earnsmeyer actually backing out of it, the bottom line. So now there's a gap. It's behind Burnham. This could hurt the bottom line for a moment.
Top lane trying to get rolling here now, side by side with Dane Cruz for a 3rd. Only the top 2 are clear. That was loud. Josh, don't know what you're doing there. I was going to say, I'm shocked to see that Darren Roy and JT Lars, 2 teammates, haven't really got together yet either. They're right there, right in the open to do it, but still kind of staying distant. But right now, the battle for the lead is about to heat up. Jonathan Parker's got to run to the outside now, about to be side by side with Cade Nackings for the race lead.
Jonathan Parker, he is not a fan of this kind of racing at all. He would much rather be at a track that isn't pack style. But I know Parker, he still would love to win at a track like this. Currently out front, and they're stacking up behind him just a little bit.
Yeah, you mentioned that about Parker not really liking this type of racing. Favorite driver, of course, being Jimmy Johnson. He wasn't known for being a plate ace, but, Parker has the skill set, I say, of like Kyle Larson. He can be up front. He can try to run well in these type of races, but he's always so unlucky, so unfortunate in this kind of racing. He'll get taken out in a wreck, or he'll have something else happen that'll just, eliminate him from the picture. So, he's not a big fan of this kind of racing, but he's always up front at some point in these races, no matter what.
Yeah, still running up front, still being there, something happening at the end. I never really thought of him at Kyle Larson on plate races, but now that you mention it, I think I can see that.
Or another driver you can compare him to, Martin Truex Jr. Somebody that could be up front, running up front in these races and just can't quite finish it off. But, whoever you want to compare him to, it's still successful drivers that have won elsewhere, just never at these super speedway style tracks. But right now, battling for the lead with Cade Nackings, and you see it kind of fading in the background there. Everybody, just a little separated, maybe a little 3 wide there in the background for a second. I believe that's a 28 of Jaden Porter that was on the outside of Luke Nupp, going to fade back in line behind the 5 car. So that's Jaden Porter, currently scored in the 13th position to the outside of Michael Walls. Now Jamie Wright in the 89, taking a peek inside.
That was a little interesting. Oh, Luke Nupp actually won. Wow. Looks like he was trying to go below Ethan, let's see, Moreno, and Burnham actually, I think, backed out of what he thought was about to be tagged from Luke Nupp.
Kind of see right here the 8 of Jared Wilson in the background, or should be the 83, excuse me. Currently, on the outside lane in 18th. After that, for the majority of the rest of the field, it's single file. Not really trying to push too hard. And one team that I will highlight right here for you that's doing that same strategy, it is those guys for Circumference Ultimate Motorsports. Brayton Laster, Michael Kruger, Jeffrey Armistead, Brett Bennett, and Adam Kuhn all back here in the back. Dalton Kelly looks like he's in 30th with this group as well. Not further back enough. Same with Matt Steiner, all back here. Their strategy last season was the winning strategy. They stayed kind of consistently together to make sure out back until the very end of the race before they made their move to the front. But they got one teammate that's not doing the same strategy, and as a matter of fact is currently racing for the race lead.
Yeah, Oscar Enriquez. Where did he come from? He's now on the outside. He's going to lead that lap. Currently in front of Jonathan Parker. Parker's all over Oscar Enriquez's back bumper.
as they go side by side. Through turn 2, lap 8. Still side-by-side affair. Enriquez with help from Parker, who's got Blaine Sparling behind him. Caden Ackey's the inside line, has Dane Cruz and Michael Thorpe Jr. behind him. And, we talk about Michael Thorpe Jr. as well. Another one of those drivers that's really good at this style of racing, but just, hasn't been able to put them together really. He's had a lot of, learning to do, so to speak, with this kind of racing. It's been definitely a big change we've seen out of that 34 machine and how he approaches these races.
Man, like Parker wanted to give him a shot there and just wasn't square. Had to back out of it. Now the bottom line going to have the momentum is Dane Cruz. He is going to be clear of Enriquez, but still pushing Caden Ackings. And Luke Knupp going to go 3 wide in the back. Actually 3 wide, a couple rows deep. Here comes Dylan Parker.
Yeah,
following Luke Knupp.
About to say, he's got some help. And Jackson Lenoff's going to pull up in front of him to try to hold him back. But Dylan Parker going to push the 5 machine. Got 3 wide action up here. Justin Burnham almost went down below the double yellow line there. Don't know what happened to him, but you see this 3 wide racing. It's going to be a little intense here to do that just on lap number 10. Back in the back there, I see Nathan Kiani is up here in this top 20 mix as well. Right now in 19th for the drop of the green flag. It's just nothing but move forward as well. So him and Luke Knupp currently in contention for the biggest movers of the race. Same with Dylan Parker. But that's no shock to hear about guys like Dylan Parker and Luke Knupp. They are aggressive drivers when it comes to this type of racing. They are very much get to the front and battle up front.
And Dylan Parker is kind of a driver where he wants to get to the front and be up front at any track. And they're going to be 3 wide for the race lead.
Jonathan Parker sends it 3 wide to the outside. He's going to make it work for now by Caden Ackings. Here comes Parker and Enriquez on the inside. Battle for the lead. 3 wide they go, and Moreno's sideways. How did he save that car? Unreal.
Wait, Sparling had a moment as well. Not sure if he just kind of brushed the wall ever so slightly, but that really stacked up that high line.
How quickly we go back to 2 by 2, and now also that outside lane starting to fade back a little more. You see up here, Cruz Auto Racing cars right now, outside lane working together. It's Caden Ackings and Bridger Olson, and of course Dane Cruz there on the inside. That number 1 machine is the team owner, but he's affiliated with Circumference Ultimate Motorsports with Oscar Enriquez. So got a group of 4 right here that can all work together very well very early on.
Dylan Parker going for 3 wide once again. He's got no help out there. He's going to try side drafting his way to the front. Here comes Luke Knupp to give him a hand. Now 3 wide obviously works here at Daytona, but personally, I don't like going 3 wide here. Talladega is much more comfortable.
I'm not too concerned about going 3 wide. I'm just concerned about the timing of it. Doing it so early. It's lap 12 of the race. We have a long way to go before we get the checkered flag tonight and award a trophy to the winner. No worries if you're riding 2 by 2 out back for now. There's nothing to worry about too much. You see Luke Knupp's going to fade back in line, going to give room for Dylan Parker. It looks like to fade in. No, not enough yet. Now he's going to fade in. But, just kind of ease into it a little bit. Don't push too hard. Things, go wrong. I mean, you're going to take yourself out of this race before you can even really have a chance to win it. So, back to 2 by 2. A good decision right now. They're up in the top 10, battling for top 10 spots, which is definitely good, but you don't want to be up there, too aggressive and take yourself out of the race.
A couple of teammates backing out of it. It's going to be Jaden Porter and Ethan Fonseca-Marino. They are dropping it back. Also, one other thing to watch out for is not too far ahead of Oscar Enriquez is a couple of slow cars. Zachary Wareham and Andrew Davis. Of course, Davis missing the grid, and Wareham having some issue that you mentioned on lap 1. So they are about to go a lap down. And then be a battle for Lucky Dog if we have a caution. But Davis, he goes all the way down to the apron. He's going to back out of it. And Wareham, he's going to ride the high line out of turn 2.
Yeah, split decisions of how they decided to get out of the way of the leaders. Wareham going to the top side of the racetrack, and Davis deciding to get on the apron, bail out, let the field go by. You see there, we're on the outside lane, and now Luke Nupp diving to the inside just in front of Jamie Wright, but the race lead now goes to Caden Atkins on the outside lane, ahead of Oscar Enriquez for now, but Enriquez powering back on that double yellow line, charging back to the race lead as they head towards the tri-oval again. Enriquez looking to control this race early here, if he can.
Lap led, I believe, is going to go to Caden Atkins.
Indeed it will, Caden Atkins.
Yeah.
That lap.
Just barely. That's the one thing about these races we'll see is, you know, the bottom line has an advantage entering the corner. The top line has an advantage exiting and on the straightaways. As you see here, Bridger Olson giving a huge shove to Caden Atkins, and well, a stack up on the bottom definitely helps this run from the outside as well. Now Caden out front, he's going to pull in front of Enriquez. He's not sure what line he wants to be in.
Atkins leads, but now here comes Olson to the outside with help from Jonathan Parker and Jackson Glenn Austin. They go side by side at the line. That time, I believe Olson got credit for leading the lap the last time by.
It actually was Caden Atkins. Olson was so close there, though.
Yes, super close there between these two teammates. They go side by side, leading the lines now are Atkins and Olson as they go down the backstretch this time on lap number 16. You see how the field has very much gotten single file for the most part, with a few stragglers here on this top side right now. It looks like maybe about 10 cars on the outside, I want to say. Maybe 9 or 8, even if that matter. You know, not a lot of guys are really on this outside. Everybody's kind of just deciding to stay and ride the bottom, you know, just kind of hang out. Just, you know, let some laps tick on, get to the first set of pit stops, and then really start to figure out how we're doing things. So, very calm early on here. At least it's calm back down for where it was with those 3 wide moves we saw Dragon's legs of Luke Nupp and Dylan Parker making.
Oh! Dane Cruz had to check up. That stacked the bottom line completely. Thorpe had to get out of it. And Justin Burnham as well. Now there's a big gap. Cruz is actually going to move to the high line as a result.
And that gap allowed Cruz to pull up to the top and slot in to stay third in line. Meanwhile, Bridger Olson drop into the bottom. So now Jonathan Parker leads the outside lane. Bridger Olson leads the inside lane. It looks like Parker is clear of the inside for now. And it looks like Jackson Glenn Austin may be close to clearing as well. Not just yet. They're still going to be side by side for this race lead once again.
Top line a little bit more organized than the bottom. There's a gap between Atkins and Enriquez. Now it is closed in, but still, I like what the top line looks like right now. It's Jonathan Parker out front once again with help from Jackson Glenn Austin, one of his JVM teammates.
Yeah, looking through the rest of the field right now, everybody else is pretty much right there, close and tight with each other. No one's really losing any time, you know, to this field. You know, the worst that it is at any point in this gap is Brett Bennett was at least maybe about 0.6 of a second back of the field, at least the car ahead of him. He's reeled that back in, so now everybody's pretty much all in line together on the inside, except for these stragglers on the top side. They're still trying to race for the race lead.
Everybody knows it is a 100-lap race, 250-mile race, a long way to go. Well, everybody knows that, maybe except Dylan Parker, who on lap 19, once again, trying to go to that outside line. No help there. 3 wide for 5th.
Dylan may be dropping out in the outside lane or fading back, intentionally trying to get a little bit further back from this chaos, but I don't know sure yet. At lap number 20, still side by side, it's Jonathan Parker and Bridger Olson, a 5th of the way through this race here tonight.
Front is closely packed, tight together. Once again, that 48 trying everything he can on that outside line. Bridger Olson actually got clear. Justin Burnham.
Burnham, yeah. Down on the apron right there for a second, pulling back up, but still now. Jonathan Parker back to the race lead. Jackson Glenn Austin in second, but here comes that inside line once again with help from Bridger Olson, with Caden Atkins pushing Bridger Olson. Excuse me.
Doesn't look like there's much help at the moment as Jackson Glenn Austin, he had a chance to push Parker clear. Caden Atkins got a shot to Olson. Brought Olson back up into the picture, side by side with Jonathan Parker.
Right now it's starting to look like this outside lane is just going to keep maintaining through the course of the corners. All the way to the back straightaway. This 48 is staying out ahead. Bridger's getting right there with them, staying close at the line, but it seems like it's mostly been Parker that's been in control. The rest of the track, it's been the 48 that edges out front.
Right now, everything is seeming pretty calm. These guys are double file, but I think this is, kind of the calm before the storm that I assume we're going to see later on in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw it last season as well. At some point, a switch is going to flip, and we're going to see a lot more than what we're getting right now. It's still double file. We have seen some flashes of 3 wide. But outside of that, it's really just been, patiently waiting, biding time, until this first set of pit stops comes whenever we get there. I think it's going to be about 30 or so-ish laps is going to be how long they're out there. So, lap 24 shouldn't be too long until we start seeing some drivers come down pit lane.
Yeah, and that green flag pit stops in these kind of races is where your race can really be lost easily. My one and only start in the Slide Job Racing League came at Talladega, and we had multiple green flag pit stops, and I screwed up both times. As if the first one wasn't already bad enough, I decided I wanted to do it a second time. We had no yellows, pretty much, I don't think. So, it's very important to not have issues on pit road. Not slide, not speed, not hit the inside wall, locking up the tires.
Yeah, especially with how it's going so far, it's staying clean, so, you don't want to be the one to make the mistake on a green flag stop, and, this race just keeps going green. We have seen races before at this super speedway go green all the way till the end, at the very least, till the late running of the race. So, any mistake you make on pit road very likely could end your race or, just completely take you out of it. So you don't want to be the one to make the mistake to take you out of the race. We see a lot of jockeying for position still in the background here. But the outside lane starting to prevail a lot more. Parker was clear there down into turn 2. Olson trying to fight back on the inside, but Jackson Glenn Austin still on the back bumper of Jonathan Parker, pushing him to the back straightaway for the race lead.
I hear some takers. Maybe? I'm wondering if it was, there was a call that a driver was pitting. And I'm wondering if maybe he was just trying to catch some people off guard. So nobody came down that time.
Yeah, pit lane is empty so far. I see the 09 there. I believe that's Andrew Davis getting lapped again. But yeah, look at this top 10 right now. Somebody else we haven't talked about yet. Sean Kissany in the 10 car. All the way up to 8th now. After starting out back. You know, he's made his way to the front. Same way we've seen Luke Knupp and Dylan Parker. So now he's up here battling. But I think I know who was calling a pit lane. Matter of fact, at least it looks like they lost some time, actually. Never mind. It was Adam Kuhn and Salvador Zavala lost a little bit of time to this group back here, trying to maintain the draft here. Of course, Salvador Zavala, making his first start with the Slide Jawb Racing League here tonight.
Well, I actually know exactly who it was that was calling for pit entry. I didn't mention who it was, but it actually was the 5 of Luke Knupp. And we see he's still on track. Has not come down pit road.
I think I have to agree with you that he was just maybe pulling somebody's leg, seeing who might take it. If anybody would take it. But still, I mean, you're still side by side. But now a new competitor side by side for the race lead. How about Jackson Glenn Austin getting to the inside and leading the inside lane now over Bridger Olsen?
Jackson Glenn Austin going to be side by side with Jonathan Parker. I was wondering if Parker was going to maybe go down to still be with his teammate. They're actually controlling this side by side.
They're going to stay side by side and keep battling here. See what happens here with these two teammates leading the field now. These two are going to try to control the races. Jackson Glenn Austin leading the inside line out ahead for now. Lap 30, coming on lap 31, 70 laps to go. This go around. Like I said, pit stop should be looming here soon because the way we work on super speedways, we run a lighter load on fuel in these cars. So, you know, usually I think a full tank is about 40 laps. So about 70%, I think, is close to about 30-ish laps, give or take. So we should see some pit stops coming in the near future.
Yeah, I think right now everybody's trying to push it as far as they possibly can. Because if you pit now, you might have to make one more extra stop. I think everybody's just kind of pushing it as far as they possibly can. Jonathan Parker gets down to the bottom. As well as Dane Cruz. And here comes Micah Walls with a huge push from Sean Kissany. Walls is going to take the top spot. He got down in front of Jonathan Parker. Where in the world did Micah Walls come from?
Well, he came from 10th at the start of the race and has slowly worked his way through that outside line. But as they've started to cycle through to the front, he now finds himself leading this race in front of Jonathan Parker. And I wouldn't be shocked to see Sean Kissany get to the race lead, and if he gets clear, to dive down in front of the field. Now he holds the outside lane. Everybody trailing Michael Walls, awaiting for pit stops here in the rest of the field. Now we have already seen a group come down pit lane. Jeffrey Armistead, Michael Kruger, Brayton Lasser, Dalton Kelly, Brett Bennett, Salvador Zavala, then Matt Steiner and Adam Kuhn all have made their way down pit road and are just now pulling off of it. Looks like actually Salvador Zavala missed his pit stall, did not make a stop, just rolled down pit lane. Actually looks like Matt Steiner and Adam Kuhn both got busted for speeding on pit road. So that's going to put them behind the 8 ball quick. The rest of these drivers are going to have to work together to catch up. You see Brett D. Bennett behind Dalton Kelly and Brayton Laster. We're behind Michael Kruger and Jeffrey Armistead, but just behind them, here comes the field.
Adam Kuhn actually had an unsafe pit entry. He locked up and actually went into the front stretch of grass before cutting over and getting on pit road.
He had a penalty, as did Matt Steiner, so they're both a lap down. I'm going to have to try to work some magic to get back with the lead pack and get back on the lead lap, I should say. So Zachary Wareham blend to the bottom there, so I think we're about to see a lot of these guys go to pit road this time or next time by, as it looks like the outside line is completely dissipating.
48 is waving his hand.
And it looks like it's going to be a big split decision for a lot of drivers. Dane Cruz locking it up! And Dane Cruz contact! Wrecking on pit entry! Dane Cruz! Oh, Rivers Jones turns Austin J. McGill. It looked like Nathan Kiani was in it as well. We'll look at that pit entry again really quick for Dane Cruz. And then bang, Zachary Wareham right into him. Nathan Kiani nowhere to go. And Rivers Jones slides in. And Austin J. McGill gets turned as well. Now, here we go. Second pack coming in. Pacheco locking it up. Pacheco's in the wall. They're wrecking again. Kissany, Jared Wilson. They're all piling in. The stack up of the century coming to pit lane. Everybody's having problems coming to pit lane. Man, oh man.
That was interesting.
I don't think I have words for what we just witnessed that time by. Holy moly, that was a very entertaining 2 laps of pit stops. Probably the 2 best laps of pit stops you will ever see. Watching iRacing, as we're currently following along with Jeffrey Armistead, who leads the group of the Circumference Ultimate Motorsports drivers that came off of pit road. Somebody is spun on the apron. I could not tell who it was. Somebody back there was Sean Kissany. Bad to worse for the 10. Looks like he might have towed it there. So bad to worse it goes for Kissany. But we see Armistead, Laster, and Kruger right here working the outside of Jaden Porter and Ethan Fonseca Moreno. But right now it looks like Bridger Olson, Michael Walls, and Jax Glenn Austin were the first 3 off of pit lane from that group. While we are all somewhat organized, let's take a gander back at the JCTV replay to see what exactly happened coming onto pit lane. Right here, Pacheco, Jared Wilson, and right here, so JT Larsh, Donald Stern, Gabe Cazzola, Ryan Bogey, Jake Scarborough, all get some kind of involvement on this one here. It's just a track blocker, or a pit lane blocker, I should say. A lot of cars find their way into that accident. We'll also look back, too, at the Dane Cruz incident coming to pit lane. And You just kind of see him sideways, 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 and right here just spins it all the way out, gets hit by Zachary Wareham. Nathan Kiani gets a piece of it, and then Rivers Jones slides it in as well, and ends up turning 21 of Austin J. McGill. Somehow, some way, we've got things somewhat sorted out for now. And right now, it is a top 6 breakaway between Jonathan Parker, Caden Atkins, Michael Thorpe Jr., then it's Bridger Olson, Jackson Glenn Austin, and Michael Walls. Those are your drivers that are out front in this lead pack. We cross the stripe. Next time, we will hit 60 laps to go. Not yet at the halfway point. Still working our way around, but you look at your top 10 as we get ready to hit 60 to go. Jonathan Parker is leading the way over Caden Atkins, Michael Thorpe Jr., Bridger Olson, and Jackson Glenn Austin. We're going to take you on a quick side-by-side break. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss any of the action.
Through the dust and the smoke of this man-made hell walked a giant of a man that the miners...
Hey, man, you cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it? Oh, man. Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola. Well, the race all right, fine. Are we good? We're good.
As a Grand Prix world champion in triathletes, I know how important it is to stretch before any competition.
I also know it's important to stretch. Mobil 1's advanced technology lubricates our engines.
Yes, that is true.
And my joints.
Oh my word.
Soda cookies. You want one, Jensen?
Fly the blimp, too much hot air. Race announcer, same thing there. Wouldn't get a word in with you know who. Just get down on the track and do what you do. Slide down in my seat, pull the belts tight. Get up on the wheel and let the dust fly. Never know how. Never know how.
Ooh. Call Logano. Hey, Joey, you can save money if you fill up at Shell if you use Advanced Auto Parts Speed Perks.
Dude, I'm way ahead of you.
You saved at the pump?
Yeah, I saved at the pump.
The pump?
The pump.
He saved at the pump!
Woo! Now you can save at the pump when you shop at Advanced Auto Parts. Learn more at advancedautoparts.com/gas rewards.
Now, it's my turn.
So what do you got in that loader, Tony?
Just did my mail run, Chase. 3,100 pounds of letters from the best fans on earth.
You have this many fans?
Yes.
You sure some of this isn't hate mail?
Nope. All fan mail.
This one's about weight loss.
That's not mine.
It has your name on it.
I'm a popular guy.
It says VIP membership renewal.
Not cool to read other people's mail, kid.
This isn't fan mail.
Mahindra, the official tractor of Tough, and Stuart Haas.
Man, running out of hot water, that's like running out of gas during a race.
You got that right.
That's why I'm getting a Richmond water heater, man. They're dependable.
A real winner.
They got everything here, too. And the prices, they're low.
Come to Menards. Check out our huge selection of Richmond water heaters in stock today. You'll save big money now. Low prices, lower energy cost.
Man, what an awesome store.
I'm proud to have them as a partner.
Let's go win some races for Menards.
Let's do it.
Save big money at Menards.
Denny and Harrison, welcome to the Offer Pack family.
Thanks. Yeah, we're excited.
You guys ready?
You know we're ready.
You know, at OfferPad, we're fast too. All online, cash offer in 24 hours. But we also like to make sure that each home selling experience feels special, easy, and different. You guys look awesome!
OfferPad really is different.
Yeah, awesome different. Home selling with OfferPad is awesome different. Request your free cash offer today at OfferPad.
Everyone knows that old NASCAR legend about how drivers, go during a race. So naturally, we were curious.
Kevin, no bathroom break?
Nope, all set.
Hey, Kevin.
What's going on? Excuse me. I mean, those fire suits are made of high-tech fabric.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Looking at the rain.
Uh-huh.
You guys go on, I'll catch up.
Well, it's been an exciting first half to the iRacing.Funny 250 here to open Season 12 of the Slide Jawb Racing League. Chaos on pit lane has led to the field being very much spread out, but as we run, Jonathan Parker continues to lead. Of course, our Season 11 and Season 10 back-to-back champion, currently leading the way still here as we come up on the halfway point. Lap 47, coming up on lap 48 this time by the second group of cars. They're currently about 5 seconds back, led by Ethan Fonseca Moreno in the number 29 machine, trying to chase down this top 6. Josh, what have you been kind of hearing over the radio from these drivers, as this race is progressing on, with everybody trying to get back up and catch our race leaders?
Well, I'm a little confused, honestly, Dawson. There's not been a ton of chatter, but there has been some drivers saying about going up or pulling up. Now, I'm not so sure that they're wanting to run the high line. But something just happened in front of Jonathan Parker, though.
Yeah, it was some lap cars there trying to get out of his way and trying to stay up there and battle amongst themselves for positions as well. It looked like it was, couldn't quite tell who that was in the mix there, but they were kind of meeting banging a little bit on each other almost before Parker caught up. But, kind of monitoring this differential right now. It's about 6 seconds now back to 7th place, who now is Luke Knupp leading this second group. If they can try to catch, they will do their best too, but they have been kind of getting a little side by side, a little, battling for position instead of staying lined up. And we kind of see it happening with a driver back here. Justin Burnham has been trying to work the outside lane for some reason, and now he's back to what appears to be the 16th position, I believe, or maybe not further back. Not too sure what's happening. Live timing, of course, likes to break on my ATVO again, so we are currently dealing with what we've got. So live ticker, of course, is still working strong for you, so if you want to keep track of your favorite drivers and where they are, keep your eyes on that left side of your screen. You'll see where everybody's running as it goes through the motions. But coming up on the halfway point this time, it's still Jonathan Parker, your back-to-back season champion, leading the way with our pole sitter, Caden Atkins, right behind him in second.
Everybody right now just single file, at least for the most part. I think this is, the calm. Okay, we've got the early race jitters done. We've made it this far with no caution. Pit cycle has happened already. And, that first group wants the second group to stay away. The second group, of course, wants to catch the first group. So both groups trying to work together as best as possible to accomplish those tasks, whether it's to stay away or catch up. Right here, you've got a couple of, I believe, lap cars actually on the outside now of this main pack, led by Jonathan Parker. And that could slow them down, which helped the second pack way back there catch up just a little bit.
Well, the second pack is cutting into the time. You can see there on the left side of the screen as the gap is getting smaller. It's gone from about 6.7 to about 6.2. So they are starting to cut into this lead a little bit more, getting more lined up, working together, and generating the run that they need, lining up together. They're really chewing into this race lead now, actually, trying to get it closer to that 6-second mark and then dig in to that from there. If they're able to keep working and keep chewing away, by the time we maybe have to have our second stops, they'll be right up there with them. Looking at it right now, the first group of hitters were the SVLD and Circumference Ultimate Motorsports drivers. That is a mouthful to say. They pit about 15, 16 laps ago, so they're not going to be back down pit lane for another little bit. But you see, a lot of cars also being involved in accidents on pit lane or being involved in whatever's that took them out of the race. They're going to be further back. There's going to be a lot less cars that are really going to be able to manage, having to get down to pit lane with together. So that might also eliminate a little bit of the trouble that we saw with not as many cars having to come down pit lane at the same time, or at the very least on pit road in general at the same time.
Well, I just saw something very interesting there, and that was the number 5 having to go through the middle. A lot of people are very unhappy with some lap cars here because they were 3 wide. The lap cars going high and low. But I was going to point out, Dawson, this second group here, what they're doing, I like what I'm seeing. And that is, of course, Luke Knupp, he just has to lead them. Dylan Parker, just follow Luke Knupp. Ethan Fonseca Moreno, he wants to stay as close as possible to Dylan Parker without actually pushing Dylan Parker, touching him, because Parker, of course, pushing Knupp. Brett Bennett, that is, he just needs to follow. He doesn't have to be close to Ethan Fonseca Moreno at all. He just needs to follow. And I mean, all of this right here is what's getting them so much speed. So these top 3 guys in this group, those are the ones that need to be super close together. And I like what I'm seeing out of them so far.
Yeah, they're doing a great job working together to try to get this gap cut into. And we're showing you the battle for 6 because that is essentially the gap from the back of the tail end of the lead pack to this second group right here, led by Luke Knupp. And you can see the gap right now is 4.5 seconds. It's still a long ways away, to getting up there and battling for the lead. And, of course, it's probably going to take a lot longer than just a few laps time. But right now, all these guys that are in this group are in a really good spot, I would say. They're not too terribly out of it. It's still a long way to go. We are still, just barely under halfway in this race. So it's not like there's a long race. It's not like there's a short dash ahead where there's no time left. So 4.5 seconds is the gap. And looking to keep chewing into it here is Luke Knupp and that second group still chasing the top 6, led by Jonathan Parker.
There is actually a third pack of drivers. There's 4 drivers that are all single, but there is another pack of some drivers, and they are currently middle back. I believe that lead back, John Parker, actually catching them. Looks like that pack is led by Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, who is 18th right now. And I'm not seeing a lot of organization with these guys. They are single file, but not drafting like they need to.
No, they're together, but together is just the best way you can say, describe it. They are 32 seconds just about back of that second pack, well ways away from a chance at battling for the lead. As a matter of fact, they're closer to getting lapped by the leaders than they are catching them for position. It's definitely going to be a long race for these guys, if they're not able to get, together and work, to make it through. As you see Parker and the lead pack coming onto the back straightaway at the same time they are on it too. They're at risk of going a lap down. And if they go a lap down here, that's going to be big, for the free pass, because that'll actually mean a battle for it, heading into what could be pit stops and also a possibility of a caution coming out if that accident spills over from pit lane to the racing surface.
Yeah, currently there are 4 cars on the lead lap. Last one on the lead lap is Brayden Laster. Austin J. McGill currently in the free pass position. Which McGill actually right here with Jonathan Parker.
Yeah, he's right there just back behind Micah Walls, that number 21 machine, of course, that Wood Brothers Racing throwback. He was looking forward to having a good run today in this race, and that's not who we're talking about. We're talking about the 21, not the 00. There we go. Looking forward to having a good run today. You know, here was Austin J. McGill, but involved in that accident on pit lane. Pretty much wiped him out of a chance at, you know, getting a good clean stop to get out and stay with the pack. So he stuck a lap down all the way back in 25th. But it's still, you know, caution comes out. If he stays where he is right now, too, he's going to be a part of the group that passes all of these, you know, cars that are going to get lapped. So he'll have a chance to benefit from that, too. But it's, you know, there's still one more set of pit stops. And after that, there's still plenty of racing left to go. And, you know, that second pack that we've been talking about, Luke Knupp closing the gap even more, it looks like now. We're going to take a quick look at your gap. It looks like it's under 3 seconds now. Yeah, 3.5 seconds, excuse me, but it is closing. They are approaching this pack of cars right now, these leaders. So they're going to catch him here soon. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, they're doing such a great job to make it happen. As I mentioned earlier, there is still plenty of time. And once again, we've had 0 cautions.
You take a ride with Luke Knupp right here. You can see that lead pack ahead of him on the same straightaway now with the leaders. So they are getting hungry. They can see that carrot dangling in front of them, and they are ready to go at it. Luke Knupp, Dylan Parker, Ethan Fonseca Moreno, this entire group right here pretty much all the way back to 17th place, which would be Justin Burnham. They did a great job sticking together in line and working to get back up to battle for this race lead. So you know, it's within 2.5 seconds now. They are still coming, and it's still, you know, plenty of room left to run. So it's about to go from a small pack of 6 to a big pack of about 17 for this race lead.
And, you know, another thing to keep an eye on as well is a couple of lap cars right there as well. The 89, Jamie Wright, he goes to the outside. Austin J. McGill. And they are going to pass Dane Cruz, who ran the bottom. Jamie Wright now in the free pass position if caution comes out.
You know, talking about Jamie Wright right now, Austin J. McGill. Austin J. McGill currently behind Jamie Wright for the last car, for the first car lap down, but and you look further ahead, not too much further ahead. Brayden Laster, tail end of the lead pack of this last group of cars. Right now, you see them on the backstretch. Not far behind is the leaders, you know, led by Jonathan Parker, and now you see Luke Knupp and Dylan Parker and Ethan Fonseca Moreno. They have caught the tail end of this draft, so now they are a part of this lead pack. And it looks like Luke Knupp's going to try to go to the outside and start to make some work of these lappers quickly with Dylan Parker in tow. Now has his sights set on Michael Walls for 6th. Maybe more positions open for Luke Knupp to go for.
They just left everybody else in the dust. What a run from Luke Knupp and Dylan Parker. And they are still with the full head of steam on this outside line. Luke Knupp up to 4th.
Jackson Glenn Austin going to jump to the outside lane with them as well. And now Caden Atkey is going to try to block. Luke's going to go to the outside. Caden is stuck in the middle. Now he's got Bridger Olson pulling. He's going to go to the top side, actually. So Bridger Olson to the top. Caden Atkey stuck in the middle. Now Dylan Parker and Luke Knupp pull to the middle lane.
Luke Knupp's going to come down in front of Jonathan Parker. He did not want to leave Dylan Parker.
What?
He's going to do it.
What a run that was. They were back about 6-7 seconds almost at one point in this run, and they have tracked down with the help from Moreno and others to get to the lead, and now they run side by side, controlling the race now on lap 64. in the iRacing.Funny 250. It's Dylan Parker and Luke Knupp leading the field.
Caden Atkins giving a huge shove to Dylan Parker. Caden Atkins going to go down to the bottom. He wants the lead.
Oh, Caden and Dylan make contact a little bit. They door, but they stay straight. No problems there.
Jared Wilson getting out of the way by being on the apron. Good heads up move by Jared.
And just like that, we got a race back on our hands here for the race lead.
It's not going to be long at all before these guys pit one more time.
Yeah, about another 2 or 3 laps would make it the same distance that the drivers for Circumference Ultimate Motorsports went before they pit last. So we might see them coming here in the next 2 laps or so. After that, everybody else will follow suit not too long after. Dylan Parker pulling to the high side. They're going to go 3 wide here or there. It's going to be Bridger Olson shooting in the middle, going to the race lead for now, side by side with Caden Atkins. Parker, I think, wanted to drop back to the back and try to save a little bit extra fuel maybe because of all that pushing he had to do to get to the front, helping push Luke Knupp.
Outside line. Oh, man. Jackson Glenn Austin wanted to pull down in front of Atkins. Wasn't able to. Bridger Olston, now the race leader. And here comes Jackson Glenn Austin with Michael Walls.
Not a lot of help in the outside lane, but you do see up ahead, they're catching up on that tail end of the lead lap pack. Led by Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, that's 18th back to about maybe 24th. They are catching that second pack, so it's going to be really tight navigating through here with the race leaders trying to make through lap traffic. But Bridger Olson inching out ahead into the race lead for now.
Oh,
Still
wrecking on pit road, Matt Steiner, Adam Kuhn. Oscar Enriquez has his whole back bumper off.
take a quick look back and see what happened. See if we see. You see, oh yeah, Matt slid into the back of Oscar, and there you see Adam sliding through the grass as well. Issues again coming to pit road for those two, and Enriquez now also with damage. So that's could be a killer for his race and his chances of winning the iRacing.Funny 250.
See that in the quick 13.1 seconds that it took to service his car. They quickly taped on a new back bumper on Oscar Enriquez's machine. But his problem is he is kind of out there alone. Now, good news for him is he was the first one to exit pit road. Here comes Armstead and Kruger.
Brett Bennett just now pulling off of pit road, it looks like. So he wasn't able to stay out there with his teammates. You see here, they're going to get caught by Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and the rest of this group here. Dalton Kelly's in that mix as well. They're not going to let Oscar slide into line so easy. Right now, it looks like Jackson Glenn Austin, Michael Walls leading the field.
not going to be long until they catch this pack. Put a whole bunch of drivers a lap down.
Shouldn't be long till they make their way to pit road here either. Based on seeing those drivers in action. There you go. They're going to pit lane now. Will they make it cleanly without any issues? It looks like for now they are. Oh, Brayton Laster was just sitting in a very awkward spot there on pit lane. Not sure if he just missed his stall or what. But we make it to pit lane. So Caden Atkins currently scored as the race leader. First stall there. Everybody else now has come down pit lane. So it looks like Jeffrey Armistead is leading the pack that's off of pit lane as things stand. Brett Bennett currently a lap down. They're looking to try to get around the track and get ahead of Caden Atkins, who should be rolling off pit road right there. Indeed they are. Everybody making their way off. Now it looks like Michael Walls won the race off of pit road in the 9 machine. Michael Walls trying to get back up to speed. Hunter Karsten, and how about him rolling out in second with Bridger Olsen just up behind him as they make their way into turn 3. Michael Thorpe Jr. going to make a move to the outside. And Hunter Karsten
coming down pit road.
Might have missed pit lane, missed pit stall last time by, so he's going to pull down pit lane. But looking back, Jeffrey Armistead and Michael Kruger right there. Brett Bennett is a lap down. Currently the first car 1 lap down. I guess maybe had an issue on pit lane, so he had to serve a penalty. But it's got help with his 2 teammates right behind him. Going to try to get him up front to see if they can't put him in front of the race leaders, which right now it looks to be Caden Atkins with Jackson Glenn Austin, Luke Knupp, and Dylan Parker. They're on that outside lane. Ooh, trying to get down there. Sketchy move just about. Luke Knupp didn't turn Jackson Glenn Austin, but came pretty close.
There's a lot of sketchy moves going on right now that I've been watching. But they're making it work. Luke Knupp. He's going to be on the high side, get the lead just a little bit there after a push from Dylan Parker. So much going on right now, I'm not exactly sure where to look. They are real tight, side by side for that race lead. Luke Knupp, Caden Atkins, circumference guys, they're making their way up. Michael Kruger, he left Jeffrey Armistead. Kruger actually going to get a huge run to the back of Michael Walls. They're about to put Dane Cruz a 3rd lap down. Cruz stays all the way at the wall. And another lap car. Nathan Gianni, he's going to stay on the bottom. A lot of lap cars, slow cars that these leaders are at. They're going to be 3 wide. Caden Atkins trying to work his way through. What a train. What a mess. They're coming to 25 laps to go, Dawson. This is a mess. These guys are starting to figure out their plans and what they got to do. Get themselves a race win. But look at Michael Kruger. I mentioned it. He pulled down to the bottom, kind of left his teammates. He is now in 5th place. Okay, Nacking's Michael Thorpe, they're working together right now. They're going to have to go onto the outside of a couple lap cars. It's going to be Diner and Stern. And now we're going to be 3 wide once again with some lap cars. Oh! Thorpe, he goes down to the bottom. Here comes everybody else. This is not ideal. They're stacking on top. They're stacking on the bottom. But Thorpe now taking the lead away from Kate Nackings. And now Hunter Karsten going to go 2 laps down. He's staying on the high side. Kate Nackings with a push from Jax Glenn Austin.
Yeah, as they continue to battle here, Thorpe, of course, we mentioned it earlier, he has worked on getting this super speedway racing down, you know, when to be aggressive, and right now is a pretty good time to start getting aggressive, and he's doing so, battling for this race lead to the inside of Kane Nackings. There's Jackson Glenn Austin pushing the outside with Luke Knupp. Looks like Bridger Olsen is on the outside lane as well. All chasing behind the 2 of Kane Nackings, the inside lane, Michael Walls, Michael Kruger, Dylan Parker, and then the 21, a lap down car of Austin J. McGill. He is also still in the mix.
"23 laps to go. It's closing in. This is it. Oh, 3 wide in the back. Jonathan Parker making his way up through the middle. He is just finding a hole. He's going through, and he still has a head of steam. It finally stalls out once he has nowhere to go. But they're going to be 3 wide once again with
Moreno.
Yeah.
Oh, and Luke Knupp pulling to the outside. So the 5 of Luke Knupp taking the outside lane. Gonna get 3 wide again here.
Oh, 41, Michael Kruger, a little bit squirrely there after touching the apron.
The intensity is picking up here. We're starting to get down to crunch time, and these guys want to get to the front ASAP. Thorpe side by side with Jackson Glenn Austin. Now here comes the 34 trying to charge back to the race lead to the inside of Kane Nackings. Luke Knupp powering by on the outside lane. Here they go, 3 wide for the race lead again. 22 laps to go.
Thorpe edging out just a little bit. He is yelling at Walls to push him. Still 3 wide, 3 rows deep. It is now everything these drivers have. Okay, Nackings in that middle line. They're pulling ahead. Once again, now Luke Knupp on that outside line.
The line that time, give it to Thorpe.
Oh, contact there between Atkins and Thorpe.
That's going to help Luke Knupp. Is he clear yet? Not quite. Could not clear. Atkins couldn't pull down. He wanted to for a second. Wasn't fully clear. They head to the back straightaway. Still 3 by 3 by 3.
I bet the knuckles of all these guys are very, very white. I have to imagine they are holding onto their steering wheel very tightly. And now Kate Nacking's going to pull to the outside after Thorpe tried blocking the high line.
Thorpe tried to block the middle. Caden had to go high. They're side by side, still trying to side draft down the front straight away through the tri-oval. Officially 20 laps to go with the line that time. Kate Nacking's leading the middle line, trying to get back and clear for the race lead. Can't quite do it. Thorpe battling back on the inside with that outside lane, fading back quickly. Now backed by, it looks like Christian Pacheco and Jonathan Parker. Pacheco is not for position. Parker now scored an 8th. Now I believe that's Dylan Parker pulling to the outside lane for the middle. He's going to try to lead the outside 4 cars now, deep on that outside line. Earlier we saw Parker push Knupp to the race lead. Now can Knupp do the same thing for Parker as they make their way to the tri-oval? They're going to be 3 wide for the lead again. This time Dylan Parker occupying the outside top spot.
To think there's still 19 laps to go. I'd expect this more if there was only 5. Dylan Parker, what a move. He just elevator dropped high to bottom in front of Thorpe. Dylan Parker, new race leader.
Dylan Parker said, thank you very much. I'm going to take that lead of the inside lane. Dropped right down in front of both Atkins and Thorpe. Now he controls the inside line. Side by side with Caden Atkins. Now Luke Knupp's going to make the charge on the outside once more. Caden trying to side draft on the door of Dylan Parker as they make their way to the tri-oval. Something's got to give here soon. They cannot keep this up for another 18 laps.
I'd be very surprised if they did. This is incredible. Micah Walls, he's done with this. He's going to back up. I think he foresees the wreck happening very soon. Oh, Dylan Parker touched the apron ever so slightly. That could have been a disaster.
It's going to be about who's putting their car where. 15 cars right now on the lead lap. 15th is Justin Burnham, 27 seconds back out of the lead draft. Everybody else, though, they're all still in it along with a bunch of lap traffic. This is just going to get tense. It's going to be all down to just who can manage the best. And if we do get that accident that's brewing here, you know, who can make it through it the best? You know, who can make... Oh, Dylan Parker sliding to the apron. Gathers it back up. Going to have to drop back, though. Not going to be able to keep competing. Caden Atkins now slides to the inside lane. Caution is out. Might have been Dylan Parker. No. Can't see who it is.
Rivers Jones. Hunter Karsten.
Looking back to see what happened with your JCTV replay. Oh, contact with River Jones and Jamie Wright, Brett Bennett, Oscar Enriquez involved, Hunter Karsten, Matt Steiner. All swept up in that accident there. See it happen right there. 23 just ends up hooking the 89 to the outside wall. Bang, right there. Heavy contact for Jamie Wright. Going to end his night now. So, Jamie Wright on pit lane. Currently working to get you back up to speed with everything here on the racetrack. Caden Atkins currently leading the field. Right, so we got everything back, fired up and right working here. Should be up and working. If it's not, oh well. But here we see our field. Caden Atkins leads Michael Thorpe Jr., Jackson Glenn Austin, Luke Knupp, Bridger Olson. It's Michael Kruger, Ethan Fonseca Moreno. Then it's Jaden Porter, Jonathan Parker, and Dylan Parker. That is your top 10 as they run right now. So 15 laps to go. This time going to be 14 to go when they hit the stripe next time. Coming down to the end of this race, and it's really not a lot of drivers that are going to be able to compete for this win because of how many are currently a lap down or more. Right now we got 16 cars in the lead lap. I believe the free pass that last time by was the 88 of Christian Pacheco. Oscar Riquez has been on pit road getting damage repaired, so he is rolling off the pit lane. But Christian Pacheco as well on the lead lap. I believe he was your free pass. Oscar Riquez, of course, involved in that most recent accident that had to get some damage repaired, so that is why he is rolling off the pit lane all the way back in the back. So re-rack them, restack them, and reset everything. You've got 17 drivers on the lead lap, including last season's winner of the iRacing.Funny 250, Jeffrey Armistead. Michael Walls still in contention. He bailed out of that lead pack, was lucky to not get swept up in anything that happened further back. Dalton Kelly, Oscar Enriquez, we mentioned Christian Pacheco as well, that have damage. So 16 cars now on the lead lap, as it looks like Jonathan Jurgensmeyer goes a lap down in 17th. Justin Burnham surviving as well, surviving all the chaos, currently scored 11th, so he's looking for a feel-good story tonight if he can manage to get up there and swing for the fences with the big dogs and try to go for this win. We'll restart with 13 laps to go after our first caution of the day for on-track incident. Some tempers are flaring over right now. It looks like Jamie Wright not happy with the incident that just occurred with Rivers Jones. No shocker there. You know, every right to be upset, you know, racing, you know, for position, you know, trying to get up there in battle, at least they try to get a lap back if a caution came out or anything, and ends up his night's going to be over here for that 89. Pace car, though, is going to pull off onto pit lane, leaving us in the hands of Kay Nackings and Michael Thorpe Jr. 13 laps to go in the iRacing.Funny 250. The green flag flies. We're back underway.
That's about the calmest restart I've ever seen with 13 to go. Outside line, though, it's moving. Nobody on the bottom. Atkins trying with help of Jax Glenn Austin, but that high line is where to be at.
Everybody to the high side as Michael Thorpe Jr. and Luke Nupp move by. Now Luke Nupp going to pull to the bottom in front of Caden Atkins. He wants to go for the race lead on Michael Thorpe Jr.
Now it is Michael and Michael's show on that outside line. Thorpe, Kruger.
Luke and Caden leading on the bottom lane. It's the Mike and Mike show, as you mentioned, on the top side with Kruger and Thorpe leading the charge to the outside lane. There's Bridger Olson. Looks like Jaden Porter back there on the outside as well, as it looks like Ethan Fonseca Moreno, Jonathan Parker, and Dylan Parker on the inside lane. Joining Jackson Glenn Austin, Caden Atkins, and Luke Nupp. Here comes Jeffrey Armistead with Justin Burnham as well to the inside lane.
Kruger, a huge push to the back of Thorpe. Atkins right there trying to push Nupp.
Outside lane trying to form. Jonathan Parker, Dylan Parker trying to work together on that outside lane.
Oh, Jonathan Parker's going to get there 3 wide with Jeffrey Armistead and Ethan Fonseca Moreno in the middle.
But up front, it's Luke Nupp leading the field. 11 laps to go. That time by Michael Thorpe Jr. still fighting hard to the outside lane. These two, I mean, I couldn't tell you if there was any love lost between these two drivers here as they battle for the race lead. Nupp out in front. He's going to try to pull up in front of Thorpe. Thorpe's going to pull to the outside, leave him high and dry in the middle. Kay Nackings out to the inside. They're 3 wide for the race lead.
I think that just confirms what you said there. I don't think that Nupp was on the Christmas card list. As Thorpe drops down to the bottom.
Thorpe now leading the inside lane. He's going to try to control every lane he can. Now he pulls up the block Michael Kruger there in the middle lane. Luke Knupp going to pull to the outside lane in front of Bridger Olson. Kruger trying to pull up in front as well. Couldn't quite do it. Thorpe's going to have to make some decisions here to try and win this race. 10 laps to go. Side by side with Atkins for the lead again.
Thorpe has had so many races that have been so close for him. Where he's just been unlucky, too little too late, or something happening that's kept Thorpe from winning. Could he get it tonight?
Yeah, Thorpe's been waiting a long time to get another win here. His last time he made it to victory lane, it was in a photo finish with Noah Maori back at Homestead in Season 9. He is looking for this first win since that time, looking to break the dry spell tonight with 9 laps to go. Can Thorpe exercise his demons? Block of the top side in front of Knupp. Couldn't quite get there. Knupp's to the outside. Pulls down to the bottom. The block Atkins.
How did he find room? They're stacking on that bottom line. This is just going to help Luke Knupp as Thorpe pulls up in front of Kruger.
Pulls up to the middle. Now, maybe thinking about going back to the bottom. Couldn't quite clear it. He's got the top lane clear, though. Atkins side by side again for the race lead with Thorpe.
They're wrecking! Justin Burnham around.
Burnham to the outside wall. Nathan Chiani, Christian Pacheco. Oh my goodness, Jake Scarborough swept up in it. And the caution will fly again. We'll have another late race restart. Take a look back and show you what happened that led to this accident with Justin Burnham. It kind of looks like he might have got a little help there from Austin J. McGill. And right there, Pacheco gets hit. And then right there, right down in front of Jake Scarborough. Jaden Porter involved. Oscar Enriquez sliding to miss it. Try to take a look here from the up top view. Oh, a little net code actually there. McGill wasn't into him before that happened. And bang, right there. Scarborough and Porter. Nowhere to go. Dylan Parker was swept up in it as well. Dylan Parker just nowhere to go.
Drivers drove down pit road to avoid that accident, so race control busy. There's some black flags for a couple of people.
McGill got turned backwards and just kept it going backwards too. So we will get reset here, and we will tell you how the field is currently lining up. You said a lot of takers on pit road. Here is where we stand. Michael Thorpe Jr. is your race leader. Caden Atkins is scored in second. Then it's Michael Kruger. Jackson Glenn Austin, Luke Knupp running at your top 5. Ethan Fonseca Moreno in 6th. 7th place is last season's winner, Jeffrey Armistead. In 8th, Bridger Olson. Two-time defending series champion Jonathan Parker finds himself 9th. Dalton Kelly has now found his way into the top 10, currently on the outside there, looking to try to sneak his way up there and steal the victory. In 11th right now, it's currently scored as Michael Walls. Back in 12th is currently Jaden Porter. Justin Burnham scored in 13th, and it's Oscar Enriquez, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Christian Pacheco, and Dylan Parker. That is the last of the lead lap cars as they are scored right now. Then first car one lap down in 18th is the 18 of Gabe Gazzola. And it's Austin J. McGill, Brayton Laster, Brett Bennett, Jake Scarborough, Nathan Chiani scored 23rd. Looks like he is still on. Yeah, he is still here with us. So he is currently rolling off pit lane actually now ahead of a couple of these cars that are on pit lane. Brett Bennett, Jake Scarborough. Donald Stern 24th, 2 laps down. Same as Salvador Zavala. Blaine Sparling as well, our dual 2 winner. not having a great run. Going to be 26th place, 2 laps down as things stand. Then it's Dayton Cruz 3 laps down in 27th. Then Sean Kissany 4 laps down in 28th. Looking back, it's Andrew Davis 5 laps down in 29th and 6 laps back for Hunter Karsten in 30th. Everyone else on back just multiple laps down. Ryan Bogey 31st, Jamie Wright in 32nd. Matt Steiner scored 33rd. Then it's Jared Wilson in 34th. Adam Kuhn scored 35th, then Darren Roy 36th out of the race as well. Rivers Jones, Robert Lukens, Zachary Wareham, and JT Larsh. Those are your drivers running out the field that are not going to finish this race here tonight. So we go double file. 5 laps to go on this restart. Josh, I think you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking here. This ain't going to be the only restart.
Oh, definitely not. I think the rules state 3 green, white checkers. I think we might just see all 3 of them, honestly, Dawson. This is, I mean, of course, the first race of the season, iRacing.Funny 250, which, by the way, I don't think it's been mentioned at all. iRacing.Funny, you can find them on Instagram at Instagram, iRacing.Funny. This is the first race of the season. Everybody wants to start off the season with a win, the points, the best place you can possibly put yourself after today's race. We're going to see 3 green, white checkers, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's going to be close to see, you know, kind of just looking back at last season's race. Just to give you a Larry Mack trend to follow if you want. I do believe we had a couple overtime attempts last season that led to us having an overtime finish. As a matter of fact, it looks like we did 107 laps, way past the scheduled distance that we had for last season's iRacing.Funny 250. We'll see if we get that same stretch here again tonight. We'll have a chance if we get a caution yet again here in this race. 5 laps to go. Michael Thorpe Jr. leads Caden Atkins, Michael Kruger, Jackson Glenn Austin, and Luke Knupp. That is your top 5. Keep your eyes back there as well. 7th place, Jeffrey Armistead, last season's winner of this race. And back behind him, the back-to-back champion, Jonathan Parker, looking to steal this win. Pace cars off through the Geico restart zone. 5 laps to go here at Daytona.
Luke Knupp pulls to the outside.
Yeah, the outside lane quickly going to have 5 cars to 2 on the inside. That is the Michael and Michael Express. Thorpe and Kruger on the inside compared to Atkins, Glenn Austin, Knupp, Moreno, and it looks like Bridger Olsen on the outside lane. Jonathan Parker jumps to the outside as well. Armistead stays at the bottom, and more cars jumping to this outside lane, trying to work their way to the front.
Jeffrey Armistead going to stay on the bottom with teammate Michael Kruger. But it is that outside line that has momentum. Jax Glenn Austin clear. He's going to pull down with Caden Atkins ahead of Thorpe. And here comes Luke Knupp.
Oh, Atkins going to try to ball the top side. Knupp forced to go wide. Atkins in the middle. Moreno and everybody else go with Caden Atkins. That leaves Luke Knupp hanging. Jackson Glenn Austin leading the field now.
Knupp fades way back in this lead pack.
Thorpe pulling to the middle lane, gonna block Caden Atkins, trying to get back to the race lead in front of Jackson Glenn Austin. Now Moreno pulls to the outside with Jonathan Parker. Atkins thought about going high, stays back middle with Thorpe. Getting down to the nitty-gritty. 3 laps to go this time by. Glenn Austin to the inside of Thorpe at the line this time. Give the lead to Glenn Austin just barely. Moreno fading back on the outside lane back there. Not going to get a run here. He's going to need to build it up quick if he wants to win this race. Oh, Jaden Porter! Caution is out. Jaden Porter into the outside wall, spinning around, and that's going to be an overtime. Take a look at your JCTV replay to see what happened to the 28 machine of Jaden Porter. trying to get in front of Gabe Cazzola, it looked like, to try to see if he could work the outside lane with teammate Ethan Fonseca Moreno, but just wasn't fully clear, I don't think. Ends up getting turned into the outside wall. Yep. Exactly what we saw happen there. Just 2 cars, though, only. No more than that. But Jaden Porter spins out. Gabe Cazzola was involved. Here's how that's going to shake things up. We're going to quickly go back and see where Austin J. McGill was in relation to this accident. Was just ahead of that accident. Big thing for that. Austin J. McGill is going to be your free pass under this caution, I believe, because Cazzola was both involved in the incident but also wound up behind him. So Austin J. McGill, 18th place right now, should be getting the free pass and should have a chance to go compete for this win. But of course, the key word there is should. Not sure if iRacing may have ruled something, where he was involved in the accident or anything like that, but I do believe McGill should be getting a free pass and should be going by the field. Yes, he is. Here he comes. So Austin J. McGill, the free pass. We've got at least 3 more of those that we can hand out in this race. Or actually 2 more we can hand out by the end of this race. So for these lap down cars from 19th on back, Gabe Cazzola, Brayton Laster, Nathan Chiani, Brett Bennett, those 4 are battling, just in case we do get another caution or 2 to try to get on a lead lap and try to put themselves in the mix to win this race.
Still a lot that can happen.
Yeah, there is still, it may only be 3 laps, 2 laps to go, but there is still a lot of racing to do at this big facility. Just about 5 miles is how long we're going to have to travel to make it to the checkered flag, if we can make it to the checkered flag of this race. And Michael Thorpe Jr. wants nothing more than to see that flag fall with him out front, but he's got some work to do to get there. Jackson Glenn Austin and Caden Atkins, 2 of the most aggressive drivers tonight along with him, are up here in the mix as well. Michael Kruger as well, back and forth. He hasn't been as aggressive as others, but he is definitely going to be pushing with all he's got to try to win this race. Bridger Olson in 5th, Jeffrey Armstead, we mentioned last season's winner, in 6th. 7th place is the back-to-back champion, Jonathan Parker. Dalton Kelly up to 8th. Oscar Enriquez has rebounded to 9th. And Christian Pacheco rounds out your top 10 as they run. So, looking at it now, we're going to get to 1 to green. They're going to go side by side. Thorpe is going to choose the inside lane. He's going to have Caden Atkins on his back bumper. We'll see how it works out here on this restart. But looking up the top side there, looks like there's going to be 3 of those Circumference Ultimate Motorsports drivers lined up together with Kruger, Armistead, and Kelly.
Yes, could really be beneficial for Circumference guys to be lined up like that. A lot of times they say that, at the end of races, you're really not teammates anymore, but I still think in this case right here, their best bet is to continue to work together, try to get one of them up to the lead before checkered flies.
Yeah, this team, we all work together. I was part of this team, racing at Daytona for the AmsOil Truck Series. The mindset was, as long as it's one of us that wins, that's all that matters. We're going to work together until the exit of turn 4 if we have a chance to go for it. So that might be the same approach we see here with these 3 together. But, don't speak too quickly, because you've got Caden Atkins and Bridger Olson right there nose to tail as well. So another group of teammates right there in the mix here at the end, ready to work together and try to get to this race win.
Yeah, it's still anybody's race, and, you know, it may not even be a team duo that can claim this race win either. Anything can happen. We know that.
Yeah, it may, like we said, it's only 2 laps, but man, oh man, does it feel so much longer than just 2 laps. So we gave you 100 scheduled laps of distance here. We're going to restart this race on lap 102. Overtime for the iRacing.Funny 250 at Daytona. Michael Thorpe Jr. leads Jackson Glenn Austin and the rest of the field to the Geico restart zone and back to the green flag. Overtime here to kick off season 12. Good restart for the outside line to keep and maintain with Thorpe and the rest of them. Bridger Olson and Caden Atkins are all over the back of Thorpe, while it's Michael Kruger and Jeffrey Armistead pushing that 11 on the outside lane.
I'm very curious to know what these circumference guys are going to do. Dalton Kelly not right there with Jeffrey Armistead, but Armistead is all over the back bumper of Michael Kruger, who is all over the back bumper of Jackson Glenn Austin. But it's the bottom line that has the advantage right now.
Side by side, they go for second. Jackson Glenn Austin trying to fight back on the outside lane. Michael Thorpe Jr. controls the inside lane. Thought about going outside. He's going to get stuck in the middle now. White flag is out. One more lap to go. And Thorpe may have just missed his opportunity. Sucker hold now for Thorpe as he fades to the back.
Who's going to go where? Glenn Austin stays ahead of Kruger. Look at Dalton Kelly on that outside line.
Jeffrey Armistead thinking about going high as well. He will this time. Kruger can't get up. Jackson Glenn Austin controlling the field. Jeffrey Armistead leading the outside lane. Caden Atkins leads the inside. Heading into turn 3, Glenn Austin and Atkins side by side. Armistead fading back on the outside lane. Glenn Austin goes wide, but it doesn't look like anybody's going to do anything. Caden Atkins will block, but Caden Atkins will win the season 12 opener at Daytona. And now they wreck.
Wow. Bridger Olson getting second. Michael Kruger just celebrating a birthday a couple days ago, finishing third. And let me tell you, you may not be hearing the driver's chat right now, but Caden Atkins, I think if you could picture Ric Flair and his woo, I think Caden Atkins has a better one.
Here's a fun one for you. This is Caden Atkins' first win since all the way back in Season 8. His last victory coming at Iowa in Season 8. Finally makes it back to victory lane, winning here in the Season 12 opener at Daytona. Celebrating, burning it down here. See Bridger Olson as well doing some burnouts in the background. Everybody is out here celebrating, completing this race. Only one overtime attempt is all we needed. So for everybody in the chat that was saying we were going to need more than that, boy, were you wrong. Able to keep it clean this second go around here, and we made it on just one extra attempt at extra laps. So we'll take a look at your finishing results from tonight's race. Caden Atkins takes home the checkered flag to kick off Season 12 here at Daytona. Bridger Olson pushing into victory for a Cruise Auto Motorsports 1-2 finish. Michael Kruger brings that 41 machine home in third. Your defending series champion, Jonathan Parker, takes it home fourth to open up season 12. And Jackson Glen Austin, a hard-fought race all night long, is going to finish in fifth. And then Michael Thorpe Jr., of course, had a chance there at the end. Slips from him, he fades back and finishes sixth. Oscar Enriquez in seventh. Last season's winner finds eighth place in Jeffrey Armistead. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer finishing ninth. And Ethan Fonseca Moreno rounded out your top 10.
Dalton Kelly, the 0-3, finishes 11th. Luke Nutt finishes 12th. Christian Pacheco brings it home 13th. Michael Walls sees himself in 14th. Austin J. McGill, 15th. Justin Burnham, 16th. Jaden Porter, 17th. Dylan Parker, last one on the lead lap, 18th. Braden Laster, one lap down, 19th. And Gabe Cazzola finishes in 20th.
Back in the 21st spot was Brett Bennett, one lap down, as well as Nathan Kiani. Josh's pick to win. Donald Stern finishes it 23rd, 2 laps down. Salvador Zavala in his debut as well, 24th in this race. Blaine Sparling, our Duel 2 winner, unfortunately, going to finish 2 laps down in 25th. And then Dane Cruz, the cruise missile, going to fade back and finish 26th. Must have run out of rocket fuel 3 laps early here. Sean Kissany in 27th, Andrew Davis 28th, Hunter Karsten in 29th, and Ryan Bogey running out the top 30.
And if my results actually want to show something here, then I can get you the rest. And there we go. 31st, Jake Scarborough. Jared Wilson, 32nd. Jamie Wright, 33rd. Rivers Jones, 34th. 35th, Matt Steiner. 36th, Robert Lukens. 37th, Adam Kuhn. 38th, Darren Roy. 39th, Zachary Wareham, and JT Larsh brings it home 40th. I don't know if what you're seeing on screen is what I'm seeing on screen, but it's a whole lot of jumbled up numbers there, from 33rd to 37th.
I think mine was showing just fine. Let me double check and see. Oh, yeah, I do see what you mean. Actually, yeah. 37th, Rivers Jones showing ahead of Steiner. I was like, what are you talking about? Then I saw it, and I was like, okay, I get what you mean now. But, yeah, don't know what happened. Shout out Cameron Caldwell for that one, making a mistake. But whatever. It is what it is. So, after that finish, the checkered flag has flown. Let's see if we can first get a hold of our third place finisher. That would be the 41 of Michael Kruger. Hey, Michael Kruger's boys to be in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, you were able to bring it home third, finding your way through the field, getting all the way up there. Couldn't quite get to the checkered flag first at the end, but hey, third place is better than nothing. Take us through that race from your perspective and how you were able to get up there and at least put yourself in a position to finish there in the end for the win.
Well, pretty much my team, Circumference Ultimate Motorsports, we kind of just planned all race really to sit in the back. And then once we kind of hit around our last pit stop, we thought it was go time to kind of go try to knife our way to the front. And I just kind of found some open gaps once we got some openings on the bottom lane a little bit with like 20 or so to go. And I was able to kind of weave my way to kind of pick through traffic. It was obviously sketchy, of course, with the 3 wide we had for I don't know how many consecutive laps, but somehow I lived, and I just kept really finding slots open really to kind of keep getting position and just keep putting myself in good spots really to kind of avoid trouble, and was able to just kind of put myself in a good spot there close to the end.
Yeah, we've seen you win these races before, these kind of super speedway races, but, this being your best finish in the Slide Job Racing League, what's that mean, for you this season, trying to look towards improving on that and going out there and competing for wins?
I mean, it's tremendous, Dawson. I mean, I feel like in this league and Slide Job, I've really felt like I have been kind of lackluster on plate races. Like, I haven't really been too competitive really late in the going when all the chips are on the table, and I felt like tonight I kind of like showed some of the guys, some of the top runners, that I can kind of like hang in there a little bit and kind of run up front and compete with these guys, and I'm hoping this season I could definitely like improve off of last season and possibly see if I can be more in the mix of races and try to contend closer to wins compared to what I was doing last year.
Well, kicking off this season with a third place finish, your highest career finish in the Slide Jawb Racing League. Teammates, sponsors, what got that 41 machine on the podium tonight?
Well, just like last night, I'm going to have to thank Cameron Caldwell for having C2 graphics on my car for Circumference Ultimate Motorsports, representing C2. Happy to get him the top 3. I got to thank my teammates. They were great on the strategy tonight. I got to thank Brett, Oscar, Matt, Jeffrey, Dalton, Adam, and Dane Cruz as well. I got to thank those guys. They were tremendous for Circumference tonight. We had a great strategy, me and Jeffrey being in the mix there late. We just played it right. We just kind of weren't really there to close the deal and win it, but still can't whine too much about a third place. Just happy to get a great finish to start the season off.
Alrighty, that was your third place finisher in tonight's iRacing.Funny 250, Michael Kruger. Congrats on the third place finish there, Michael.
Thank you, Dawson.
And with that, we will kick it to Josh, who should be catching up with our second place finisher here tonight. That would be Bridger Olson.
Yeah, let's see if I can find him. Bridger Olson, our second place finisher tonight. Bridger, tonight was pretty great race up front. Very intense and pretty clean for the most part. You were able to find that 67 machine and second at the finish. Just kind of walk us through what it was like for
yeah. It was a great race, like you said. Probably the most fun I've had in this league ever. My main goal was to get a car win, either Caden, me, or Dane, and I did that. Thankfully, I'm sad Dane got wrecked, but oh well. Caden deserves it. I'm happy I was able to help him.
Going that long of green flag, a couple of green flag pit stops as well. Was there any communication between yourself and others as far as pit strategy and what you were going to be taking under the green flag pit stops, whether it just be fuel only or for tires?
Yeah, me, Jackson, and Luke were kind of working together all race. We pitted together, did all that. I had a couple scares going into pit entry, but I avoided it all. So.
Well, who do you have to thank for that 67 machine bringing it home in second?
Yeah. Thank you to Dane Cruz for giving me a chance. Also for giving me a very fast car. Caden for being my teammate and winning. And everyone I just mentioned for being in VC for me. And yeah.
Alrighty, well, congrats on that second place finish, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And that's Bridger Olson, driver of the number 67 machine. And next up, we head to Dawson Allen, who has our race winner in Victory Lane.
Let's see if we can get a hold of Mr. Caden Atkins. Caden, the boys have been in the booth. Finally get to talk to you after a race win.
Dude, this is sick. I don't even know, how does this happen?
Well, you're gonna have to take us. You're gonna have to take us through how it happened, buddy. I mean, you were the one driving the car that found victory lane here tonight. We've talked to you many times before. Whether it was runner-up finishes or third place finishes. You had the dual win last week to put you on the pole, but taking the checkered flag in a full distance race is your first win since all the way back in season 8. What's that feeling like for you right now?
Man, it's been like a year and a half since my last slide job win, so this is crazy. And the fact, dude, I won the duel, and then I won court the next day, and then I won slide job, and this all at Daytona. I don't even know. Like, I used to suck at plate racing, and then like Dale Earnhardt came inside me or something, because like now I'm good or something. But I couldn't do it without all my teammates though, because they were pushing me every time. So yeah. As for like the race there. That was like an intense dogfight there at the end. Racing Thorpe, Johnny Parker, who else? The Cum guys, friggin' all Bridger and Dylan and Pepsi and Luke and everybody. That was lots of fun. I'm just yapping right now because yeah.
Yeah, you're right to yap away. Looking through the replays, we got to that overtime restart and coming to the white flag. I noticed in the trial there was a big moment there. You got squirrely on the wheel. Was your heart racing at that moment? I saw that one and I kind of figured that might be a moment to make your heart skip a couple beats there. A push from Bridger Olsen got you a little squirrely coming to the tri-oval.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was the whole last 15 laps, honestly, but especially there because Thorpe moved up there, I think. Yeah, he moved up to block the middle line. And I was like, I'm not letting him come back down. So I just snuck under him, and then Bridger was pushing me, and he hit me a little bit, and then we got squirrely. But I've had more scary moments even in this race, so it wasn't too much to save. But and then I knew Bridger told me that he's gonna stick with me no matter what, barring unforeseen circumstances. So I knew when on the backstretch there, when Jackson didn't move down, that I pretty much had it sealed as long as there wasn't like a huge run. Because I saw the third lane coming, so I knew that the outside lanes are gonna get all stacked up, and Bridger was just gonna stick to me. So shout out Bridger Olsen, my teammate. But yeah, that was crazy.
Well, red carpet gets rolled out. First place, checkered flag in your hands. Sponsors, teammates, shoutouts. What got this 2 machine to victory lane here tonight at Daytona?
Firstly, shout out Cruz Auto Racing and Dane Cruz for hiring me and giving me the greatest car ever. Secondly, obviously Bridger Olsen, because he's a really good pusher, and he's been a homie for like 3 years now or something now. So it's we're going back. But let's see here, who else? You guys are pretty cool. I like you guys. I know the league people are cool that showed up and the admins. And shout out to Luke Knapp because I threw a terrible block on him and it kind of race because he finished 12th. So sorry, buddy. Especially after he pushed me last week, it was kind of bad for me to do that to him. But hey, it ended up in a win, so I can't feel too bad,
Alrighty, that is your race winner tonight. The season 12 opener at Daytona goes to Caden Atkins. Congrats on the win again, Caden.
Let's go.
Well, Josh, it was a very, very double-sided race. It was 2 different stories pretty much from the first half to the second half. We started off the first half clean, no cautions. We had the incidents on pit road, those first green flag stops, but that second half, it really picked back up and kicked into high gear. We had the late cautions that came out and really changed the complexion of this race. What was your takeaway from tonight's race?
I'm very impressed with these guys to be able to run like that 3 wide for several laps straight and not have a caution. The pit incidents that we saw, not ideal for everybody involved, but of course, no cautions for those. Some drivers think that there should have been a caution, especially on that really big incident on pit road. But I just think it's incredible. These guys, I love commentating this league. I'm so glad that we get to do this. These guys are so fun to watch, and I think this just is getting us ready for another incredible season that we're going to see here on JCTV. So, congrats to Cade Nat Kings on that big win, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week.
Yeah, it's definitely building up like it's going to be an exciting season, and this was just the beginning. Of course, Daytona kicking off the season. Next week, we continue the swing in Florida, heading to Homestead for the Slide Jawb Racing League, but that's next Tuesday. We've got racing in between then here on JCTV. This upcoming Friday night, the NAOR Series heads to Kentucky to start rolling here on their next season. I believe it's season 4, if I'm not mistaken, Josh. Then season 5 of the AmsOil Truck Series this Saturday heads to Pocono Raceway. We'll see a big truck race there this upcoming Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then, of course, next Monday night, total nonstop racing heads your way. I literally just said where it was last night, and I completely forgot. They're heading to Michigan next week, a big track for these trucks. That one's also going to be a lot of fun. And then we mentioned next Tuesday night, we come back to the Slide Jawb Racing League to Homestead Miami Speedway. That should be a fun race with these Xfinity cars, of course, again, next week. Same time, same place here on JCTV. We want to thank everybody, as always, for tuning in to these races and letting us spend a little time with you as we talk about fake race cars going around in fake circles. For everybody here at JCTV, Josh Coppernoll and Dawson Allen signing out, saying so long and have a great rest of your night. And congrats again to Cade Nat Kings, your winner here at Daytona.